Hello, everybody, and we are here with our friend, actor Philip O'Reilly. And I know all of us have been all. I know that all of us have been waiting to do this with Philip for a while because we had started to do this at one point and we had some technical problems. So thank you for your patience, Philip. How you doing, man? It's good to see
Doing
you.
well. Good holidays. Yeah, not bad.
That's good. Um, yeah, Philip is out on the West Coast, and he is enjoying nice, warm weather compared to other places.
Yep. No snow, no hail. Not bad.
Our co-host Fatal J is probably going to chime in later on, but we are going to start. And I got to tell you, I've been looking forward to this for a while, Philip, because I don't know. I think that just the experience that you went through for for participating in that episode of the Orville that you shot. I think that just that experience in itself is really it's a treat that you're going to be able to talk to us about it. The episode, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Majority Rule, correct, Phil?
That's correct. I believe it's episode 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's right. Episode 7 of season 1. And if you guys remember, all you Orvillians remember, that is the episode where Lamar does the statue humping and he gets in trouble, and he's gonna get corrected, and he gets all these downvotes. Well, I'm actually. Do you want to describe? I was gonna walk through that episode, but maybe you want to just tell us what the episode is about, Phil.
So basically, the crew of the Orville land on this planet. They have a system in place where they vote up or down on everybody that they like or dislike, and they use that as punishment as well. And it's it's pretty similar to where we may be headed as a society, because of our social media, and certain countries even are starting to implement this system where you have to register yourself, and like I think China has like some similar things starting right now, but not exactly. But yeah, it's pretty scary what's going to happen with I can show you a picture of like what I did on the episode. So basically,
Yeah.
I was one of the people on the planet that was downvoting Lamar for humping the statue. And
So you had like a phone or something, some kind of device in your hand, right?
yeah, we basically use our cell phones to downvote Lamar. Well, see how well this shows up. So
Yeah.
so I'm one of the guys there in a suit, and we also have like badges on ourselves to like show that if we're like positive or negative.
Yeah, you're next to the lady in red, right? In the
Yeah.
suit.
Would it be to your left or my left of her? Yeah.
Yeah, it's left.
So yep, I did that, and on set, I did see Seth MacFarlane. He noticed me, but I didn't talk to him. It was a pretty awkward situation, actually.
Philip, I'm going to stop you one sec because Fatal is here. And hey, Jay. Hey, Fatal.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Phil, how you doing, my friend?
All right.
I don't know if you guys have met, but Philip, Jay, Philip.
How you doing, my friend? You okay?
Doing good. How about you? No, I don't think we've seen eye to eye, but maybe in the chat on Orville live chat.
Yeah, I'm an initiate in the Orville. Yeah, I'm a newbie.
One of the reasons I asked Fatal if you wanted to join us is because I think like he says he's a newbie, but he's a Trekkie. He's a lifelong Trekkie.
Yeah, I'm a long-term Trekkie. Now I'm a newbie when it comes to Orville. I'm about to finish the season 1. PJ, I'm about to finish it up.
Awesome. So Fatal, when season 3 comes around, I think that Fatal's going to be reviewing it, if I'm correct.
I'm gonna start reviewing it. Yes, sir. I like what I'm seeing so far. It's dope. I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying it.
I think season 2 gets better than season 1, so I think you'll enjoy season 2.
And see, that's how you know a show is gonna last a long time. Because usually the season 1 is just dipping your toe into the water, but then season 2 you just go ahead and dive in. Because you know what, Next Generation was like that. The
Same
first
thing.
season was kind of but that season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 killed it.
I'd say the same for the majority of Star Trek, like Deep Space Nine and Voyager. They got better in the seasons.
Yeah. Hey, the episodes where my boy had hair, those was like the dipping the toe into the water. But when he went full ball, when he went full Cisco, yeah, when Cisco went full, when he went full born ball, that's when it was epic, you know.
Yeah, because he became a captain and he was more badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Picard lost his hair and Riker got his beard.
Yeah, and when Picard got out of those spandex suits, remember in the first episode he had like the ballerina stuff going on, you know. I don't know what they was thinking with those suits.
I prefer Picard, Riker without the beard, actually, but either way,
I do too.
So Fatal, I think then you probably have seen. We were talking. Phillip was telling us what was the episode he was participating in. I think it's season 1, episode 7. It's called Majority Rule, and that's the one with the badges. So they up and down vote people. Did you see that one?
No, I'm not there yet.
So Phillip
I
is
can't wait to see it though.
So now you're going to see Phillip when you see the episode.
Okay, cool.
Because I see him all the time now.
yeah, I'll be in the crowd. Yeah, if you're looking, you'll see me. Yeah.
Well, you know what, PJ, you made me go back and look at the Star Trek episodes where they were wearing dresses. I never did notice that.
Yeah.
It was guys walking around with dresses on, man.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, I obviously Gene experimented there, but he pulled back from it and never went back to it. So I think that revisiting it, I don't know if it makes too much sense, but I don't know. You want to chime in on that, Phil?
He kept a little bit of it with the dress uniforms, so he still had it in a way. I thought
that's what me and PJ was talking about, Phil. We were talking about it seems like when like Picard or Cisco or any one of them, they have like a award ceremony or something ceremonial, they wear those long jackets. Pretty much dresses though. Dresses with pants. You know what I'm talking about, Phil?
Exactly. I grew up with actually watching both the Next Generation and the original series back to back. Well,
yeah.
I started ever since I remember Star Trek has always been on the air. I was like probably 3 or 4 watching Next Generation. Like, well, it was already on. It was like probably like season 2 or 3 when I got into it, and I was like probably before like my earliest memories of watching it.
Yeah, that's how I was, because like it seemed like on the weekends I used to stay over my grandmother's house, and I knew it was time to go to bed when 2 shows come on. Next Generation and MASH. Especially when MASH came on, when I heard that, I said, dang, it's bedtime. But you know what? I'm a weird Trekkie. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not too big on the original Star Trek, but when it comes to Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, I fell in love with it. I don't know. Maybe because the ship and the suits and stuff is just a little dated, and I think that's part of the reason. But them stories in This Generation and Deep Space Nine is mind blowing. I still haven't found nothing yet in TV that's rival those stories in the sci-fi realm.
I think it's probably the only drama I watched as a kid because it's set in space. Like it was okay for me to watch, and like any other drama I wouldn't care about.
Yeah.
So
It's
really love it.
weird too because I was watching that stuff as a kid and it wasn't that action packed. So I mean, that just shows you how amazing the story was. And to be that consistent that many seasons, you can't say that it's a bad Next Generation season or it's a bad Deep Space Nine season. And they had what, 6-7 seasons each?
Yeah. People like to hate on season 1 of Next Generation, but I enjoy a lot of episodes in there.
I enjoy it too, especially that episode when they went on the planet and that monster he killed one of the original cast.
Yeah,
I forget her name.
Tasha.
The blonde lady. She had Worf's spot before Worf had it.
Yeah.
Can't remember her name for nothing.
VR? Yeah.
Oh. Guys, before we move forward, let me just ask you a question because you brought it up, Jay. You mentioned MASH, and there's a lot of people who have spoken about the mix of comedy and drama. And do you, Philip, as an actor, do you see any parallels between what Seth is doing and what they did with MASH?
To be honest, I didn't watch MASH, so I can't tell you. All I remember is a bunch of cross-dressing and surgeries.
And see, I never did watch MASH either because my grandma, when MASH came on, it seemed like my grandma came in the room and said, "It's time to go to bed. You got to wake up early in the morning." So I never did get to see MASH. And it seemed like every time I see MASH come on TV, I get real sleepy. So I don't know if my brain is trained now to MASH come.
You know, the same thing happened to me. It was kind of a bedtime thing with that MASH music, and then I started watching it when I was older, like when I was in my late 20s. I started watching it, and I appreciated it, and I thought it was really interesting. The mix of the comedy and the drama, and I'll bet you one day that Alan Alda will be on the Orville. That's my hunch.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But anyway, before we move forward, when Fatal came on, Philip was about to start he was going to summarize the episode. What would the episode Majority Rules was about? So do you want to go back to that, Philip?
I'll be spoiling it for him though. If he's cool
It's okay, man.
So basically, yeah, how I said, they go on the planet, they up and downvote people, and if you get enough downvotes, you can get sent to prison and get lobotomized. They didn't call it lobotomized, but yeah, basically
Corrected, right?
Yeah, corrected. Reminds me of that 70s sci-fi movie. What was it called? I can't think of it right now. But people get killed once they hit 30. So basically, they have to save Lamar from getting corrected. And actually, so I met Seth MacFarlane on that set. It was my second time meeting him, but we didn't talk because one of the rules in background acting is you're not supposed to talk to the actors or directors unless they talk to you. So
Yeah.
So I was like face to face, like awkwardly for like 5 or 10 seconds with Seth MacFarlane, and I was like, "Oh crap, what do I do?" And like we just stared at each other, and then like I walked away. So yeah.
So how was Seth when y'all approached each other?
So I saw him on the set of Ted 2, and also on Orville. I don't know, like on that episode, at least that scene, he was just directing or producing. He wasn't in that scene as an actor, so he was just like telling people like go here and do this, and telling crew people what to do, and like the ADs what to do.
Okay, it sounds like you've been a little bit too nice right now. Is he?
He was not. No, he's not a mean director.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
he was just busy, and
I thought you was dancing around it.
No,
I was like, man, just go ahead and say it, man. He's a butthole.
There are a lot of a-hole directors in Hollywood, but he's
I
not one of them.
believe it. I believe it. And a lot of butthole actors, because even though I love Christian Bale, when I heard how he went off on that guy, did you hear that footage?
Oh, I heard
When
the
the
whole thing
dude-
recently. Like
Yeah,
most
when
people
the
hear the
dude-
little clip, but like if you hear the whole thing, it's a little more justifiable. But still, like he went off.
It is justifiable if he was trying to focus on the scene, but geez, I mean, he let that dude have it. It was like he took his soul, like you know.
He got him fired. He went too far. I think
He went too far, man.
Go ahead
never
and
heard
tell
what
that person,
happened.
like, hey, please stop. But he just lost it.
I can even give him one of these. Hey man, move out the way. I could give him one of them, but he gave him a verbal whooping for at least what 5-10 minutes.
For what reason?
It was a I don't know what kind of guy he was on set, but apparently he was
He's pretty high up. I think he was the director of photography.
Oh, okay.
So
He walked in the view of Christian Bale, right?
He was working in the background, just making a lot of noise and distracting him, basically.
Yeah, and he went off on that dude on set in front of everybody. PJ, you can put it up on YouTube.
Okay. I don't want to stray from our topic. I definitely we should talk about that one day. I think Fatal. Let me just go back to because we had started this interview with Phillip a while ago and we had technical difficulties, so I want to try to do it correct today. So I'm just going to run through the episode for everybody listening real quick. There are spoilers if you guys haven't seen them.
Also,
basically,
sorry.
Go ahead.
One of my friends who's works in my area as an actor, we've worked together in independent films, like on roles together. He played the scientist on the TV on that episode. So if you see, he's Merrick McCarthy, and
the anthropologist he plays.
Yeah, he's a black guy who like has like an interview on the TV. Yeah, I think he's an anthropologist.
I see what you're saying.
I've worked on independent films with him before, so that's really cool. Like we worked on the same episode, but on the Orville. That's pretty fascinating to me.
That's cool.
He had a speaking role, unlike me. I just had a background acting role.
Yeah, I remember. That's right. Your friend had got a speaking role, and you were the background role. I think that. So I'm just going to run real quick through the episode. Basically, the Orville gets to this planet that's kind of like 20th century Earth, 21st century Earth, and they're supposed to check up on two anthropologists that are working there that have they've disappeared. They stopped communicating with the Union, and these two anthropologists, one had been killed and one had been corrected, as they wanted to do to John Lamar, and it was basically because they were seen by other people doing something wrong in society, and people downloaded a whole bunch of votes to them, and then if you got over 10 million downvotes, you were corrected, which meant you had like some neurological procedure which basically dumbed you down a lot and just made you a vegetable. And so what with the scene that we see Phillip in is after John Lamar was doing his dry humping of a statue in a public place of frontier heroine Mela Giffenden, I think was the name.
Wow.
And so basically John Lamar comes out of a cafe and he's being hit by this mob, and Phillip, our friend, is in that mob. And now I see Phillip all the time when I see that episode.
Yeah, I almost got Lamar killed. I'm sorry, guys.
So, Phillip, you were telling us, tell Jay and myself and everybody about the what were the badges like? You were explaining that to me one time. The badges, with the green,
it's pretty simple.
red arrows.
It's the ones, at least a lot of background actors had. They were just plastic, just a piece of plastic on like. Just had like maybe some transparent like buttons on it that it was non-functional device, but it looked convincing enough from a distance. I think they gave away some of those badges to like Orville fans. I forget how, but that was pretty cool. I got a picture with wearing one. Let's see if I could find it. Also, that scene that I did, we filmed that at LA Center Studios in Los Angeles, near downtown LA.
Did you get to keep any of the props?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that sucks.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Do I have it? So here we go.
Yeah, that's what the badges were like.
So wearing the badge. So yeah, it's pretty simple little badge there.
Yeah, so people would walk up to you and either press the green or the red button for, you know.
It would light up, well, supposedly would light up if you got up or downvoted.
Yeah, man. Seth is killing it right now, man. He's taking everything people like from Star Trek and put it in this, and now Star Trek is something totally different. And it seems like season 2 of Discovery was trying to be like Orville with the jokes. You know, Star Trek is not heavy on jokes. So they might be taking notes from Seth now, which is crazy.
Did you think that, without getting into, did you think that they were was it working? Was the comedy working in season 2 of Discovery, Jay?
No. It was too much. It was awkward. It was weird. Now I can understand if a show starts off that way, like Orville, but this is supposed to be Star Trek. Yeah, we laugh and joke at some points of the show, not many. Now it is some episodes of Star Trek where it's straight comedy, like with Quark. Some of those episodes are all the way through, but they try to implement this in every single episode. I didn't like it.
Yeah, they always add it, especially with like character duos, so the Quark and Odo, or Neelix and Tuvok, and what would be the Next Generation equivalent? I don't think they had so much as a rivalry going on. I guess Barkley, or like
Barkley,
Pulaski and Data, maybe.
Yeah.
But that wasn't that comedic though. But Barkley and everybody else. But I got to give Barkley a lot of credit. He saved Voyager, and he saved Next Generation cast as well. Like when he got that he got connected to that supercomputer, and like he got all intelligent in one episode.
Oh yeah, I like that episode. Yeah,
that's really awesome. Like I was happy for him. Like,
because Barkley was always like, he was like the shy nerdy guy, and then when he got into that thing, he was like the smartest dude, got all the women. That was a funny episode.
Isn't it interesting, because the actor who played Barkley, Dwight Schultz, he played Crazy Murdoch on the A-Team, and it's interesting, he's been a very successful person playing that emotional instability in his characters. I think he's great.
Man, you're right. He did play in the A-Team. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So Phillip, what was so tell us what your day was like. How did you start your day when you went to film on that day, for example? And was it more than one day?
For that, it was one day. So just most days, I think that day also wasn't the longest day, but it was pretty long. Basically, I think we got up at we had to start working at like 6 a.m. So you sign in, you then go through wardrobe. I think I wore my own clothes, but half the time they'll give you their wardrobe. Then after wardrobe, you change, you go get checked for hair and makeup. Then after you go through those two processes, wardrobe, hair, makeup, and then you get a picture taken as how you look after you're all done up. Then you usually, I think we went to holding. which
Is
is
the
like,
picture for you, or is it for them? The
it's
picture.
for them, like continuity.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you like take off your jacket accidentally, or change your hairstyle or accidentally, like midway through the day, or if you have to come back like the next day, they know what you look like.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason for that picture.
How
So-
many walkthroughs of like when you guys are practicing the scene? How many walkthroughs do you do for a scene like that?
It varies by production. With I'm trying to think, it's been we filmed this 2017, so it's been a while. I'm trying to remember because I do a lot of shows. It's hard to remember every day set. I've worked on over 100 different TV shows and movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and trying to remember each
You have
day.
a lot of you have a lot of experience, dude. I mean, I know just as a background actor, but you've done a lot.
So I'm trying to remember that day. What was? Let's see. I'd say the takes usually for like each shot, they'll usually do. It varies, but I would say like maybe like 10 different takes of one shot. I'd say it's the average, and then they'll get that shot. They'll film a different angle. I think it was a one camera setup. I could be wrong in my recollection of that episode of that scene, but I think it was like get that shot. All right, let's get this shot. Let's do the wide. There was a crane shot on that episode, and they filmed like that area. They filmed at the main building at the LA Center Studios, not on like a soundstage. So it looked like basically like a city area. So
So when you now I know you didn't have any. You it wasn't a speaking role, but were you supposed to be speaking in the background, or were you not saying anything?
I wasn't saying anything. We're just like crowd. Like I think they let us just mumble or just have some atmospheric talk, but nothing distinguishable. So they had us placed in different spots. Just a lot of the times, I just all right, walk here to here, like go walk on the sidewalk. And I think even one shot they had us get onto a bus and then like drive off. I think.
Now, when it comes to being a background actor, you don't need to do a rehearsal for that, right? Like you don't need to like go to a casting or anything when it comes to background, or
we
do
don't have
you?
we don't have to audition.
Audition. That's what I was looking for. You don't have to audition, do you?
No. Basically, you have to be part of a casting agency, a background casting agency.
Yeah.
Like for me, for the Orville, it was Central Casting. So you sign up for them, you get in their database, and you give them all your stats, and they will post their jobs on like their website or on Facebook. Like, hey, like we need people that look like this, like black, white, 18 to 30.
Oh, okay.
And you fit this description, call this number or like email this email address, and you'll submit. And if they think you fit the part, they'll say okay. And then they tell you what show it is. All right, it's going to be for the Orville or this.
Oh, okay. So you didn't know beforehand.
Did not know. I just
Okay.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But
So if they say, "Hey, I want you back on this show," you'll be down to go back?
oh, definitely. That's
Yeah.
my favorite show on the air right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Phillip is like one of our diehard community members at the same.
Yeah.
For the. I bet they need people that look like Fatal though, don't they, Phillip? Don't they need people? Don't they need people
Everybody.
who look like Fatal?
Yeah.
Man, I'll be down.
So maybe we can play a Mocklin or a civilian.
They'll probably kick me off the show though, because I'll probably do too much in the background to try to get noticed on camera.
Oh yeah,
So
they
they-
frown upon that.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I'm
that's
saying.
pretty
They'll kick me off
Yeah.
because I'll be like, trying to really show my skills without talking. They'll say, "Sir, we don't need you anymore. Thank you for coming."
Like usually, like if people do that, they'll just politely like say, "Hey, like don't like move your arms so much" or something. They'll usually like the first warning, they'll be more or less polite about something like that.
Yeah, because you're right though. Because when I watch certain movies, and I like to look at the background actors, and I notice at the most the background actors do this.
They will exaggerate their movements because they can't
Yeah.
talk. So like, all right, how am I gonna pretend like I'm talking? All right, I'll nod, and like it does look a little ridiculous. 'Cause they have to convey conversation most of the time without talking.
Man, but you got to think a lot of big stars was background actors. You know.
Yep. Like Brad Pitt and several actors.
Yeah. So and you've been in like hundreds of background roles. You get noticed, man. You get noticed. Trust me.
Probably like have you ever watched Superstore? No,
No,
No.
sir.
What is that?
well, I am on every episode of that. If you watch the title sequence, they showed like the names of like the producers and like the title of the show. I'm the guy picking up a ball in the store. So if you ever watch Superstore, I am on it.
What is that? What network
Now,
is
is
that
you
on?
saying superstar or superstore?
Superstore, it's a show on NBC.
Okay.
It revolves around employees at a Walmart type store. That's a comedy.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay, I'm about to
So,
check that show out, man.
so yeah, if you watch the beginning intro, the titles, like you'll see me right there.
I'm gonna put that in.
I've also worked on several other shows. Like I was pretty well featured on Ray Donovan. I was an Armenian mobster.
Now, are you shooting for some leading roles?
I'm definitely trying. I've worked on several independent films with speaking roles,
Yeah.
but a lot of those are just they do like the film festival circuits, but
Yeah.
they don't get well noticed. But yeah, I've done some independent stuff, and I like to get an agent and pursue speaking roles in Hollywood films and TV shows. That'd be nice.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I
You said a speaking role?
on
Did you-
independent films I have. Yeah, I would like.
I mean, but, oh, okay. I see what you mean. When you said speaking role in my head, I'm thinking voice acting. I don't know why, but I see what you mean. Just a role where you're saying lines.
where you're a cast member basically.
Yeah.
Yes, you have lines.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna tell you, man, anything is possible. I was watching Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. Samuel L. Jackson had a few lines in that movie, and now they coming out with a Coming to America too. If Samuel L. Jackson is on that movie, he will be the biggest star. So
That's
basically,
right.
he went from a background actor to the main star now. You know,
Wow.
so it can happen, man.
And Fatal, I think we're talking to a big future star, and I'll tell you why. This comes from I have kind of a human resource psychology background, and I know that people like. There's one thing about Phillip that looks very familiar. I think you look a little bit like there's something about you looks a little bit like Jerry O'Connell, and then
I
you're
have
tougher.
heard that. I could see maybe a vague resemblance, like the eyes. I guess would
Yeah, I don't know. It's an
like that.
Irish thing, maybe.
could be. You get-
But I think that when people look familiar, sometimes they're placed on a subconscious level in the background a lot. I think you've gotten a lot of gigs because I think you look familiar to people, in my
I've also
opinion.
heard. I don't see it myself, but I've heard I look vaguely like Mark Wahlberg, but I don't see that.
You
And
know, when I think of
maybe-
Jerry O'Connell, I think of Joe's Apartment. Hey, y'all ever seen that movie?
I always think Sliders. When I was a little kid, Sliders was hot.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I
That's
think
a
more
good one.
sliders, yeah. But and like in some of like the images and some of the images that you're doing more a tough guy, you kind of look between like little cross between Jerry O'Connell and Arnold Schwarzenegger, to be honest.
Oh, that's a big compliment because I'm a fan of both. Arnold's my favorite actor.
Yeah,
I
Arnold's
have
the
every
man.
movie of his, including like.
Can you show us on your laptop one of those like tougher like the DEA when you're where the FBI or DA pictures?
Let's see. So yeah, I play like all sorts of different roles. Like I could play the nerd or the tough guy, depending on like. I think it has a lot to do with the beard. Like if I am clean shaven, I play more the nerd or upscale. But if I got a beard going on, I'm playing like mobsters, prisoners, criminals.
Yeah, like Fatal. He has a picture where he's on that show The Veep. Like he's a reporter or something, and you look totally different. And like as a reporter than as a cop.
But would you ever want like a certain niche when it comes to acting? Like for instance, Arnold is known as the action man, and then you got some actors they're known as the nerdy guy.
So here's me on Ray Donovan. I'm like Armenian mobster, and people said I look like scary there.
Hold a little closer. A little closer. Yeah.
Is that you in the middle?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
him on the
you do
right.
like
On the right. Yeah. In the
No,
middle.
I'm in the middle.
In the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, that do look menacing.
And so what show are you referring to exactly? Oh, here I am, DAA agent.
Yeah. You look tough there.
Damn, he do look like Jerry O'Connell. You like Jerry O'Connell right there for real.
I think somebody you know personally. We know him as Art Fusco. He says Phillip does a great border patrol agent in Something I Saw. Says Art.
Yeah, Art and I have a complicated history. I've known him since the second grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've known him for decades now. Okay.
Well, he had some kind words to say about you today, so that's all.
Let's see. I'll show that right now. Oh, I think that's where I look the most intimidating. Where like even like people on the set thought I looked like I wanted to kill the guy. Like, so here I am as a border patrol agent.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like,
it doesn't need that looks you look different there, man.
So I think the beard makes all the difference. Wear hat, just.
But Phil,
I'm like a chameleon when it comes to what I want to play.
Well, Phillip, I want to ask you this. Like, it's some actors they're just known for playing the best, the certain niche roles. Like, for instance, Robert De Niro. We know him for playing the mobster type roles. Would you ever want to do a certain niche when it comes to acting, or you're an actor that you want to try a little bit of everything?
I have an idea of what I want to do. Like I am more comedic by nature.
Yeah.
But also I know how I come across on pictures. A lot of times I look like I'm upset even when I'm not. So I think playing a bad guy comes really easy to me on screen.
Cause see, it seemed like to me if you had like a niche when it came to acting, to me that would be like a cheat code. Instead of trying to do everything, so like when the agents or the studios, like, yeah, we're looking for a bad guy. Hey, let's try Phillip. He's been doing good in these roles. But then I can understand at the same time too how that can trap you into a certain role.
Typecasted, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do that, because then if there's a role you want, they're like, no, we don't want you. Like Bryan Cranston had that issue. He was the dad of Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
And he wanted to do Breaking Bad, and like, no, we don't want this comedic guy.
And see, that's crazy because I used to watch Malcolm in the Middle too, and I would have never known Bryan Cranston was a heck of an actor if he would have stayed in that Malcolm in the Middle comedic role, And
he was in Seinfeld too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
So I think for me personally, I would like to maybe be a bad guy in a comedy. I think that'd be the perfect place for me.
Yeah.
Because I could look like a mean, but also like I would be comfortable with like self-deprecating humor or like being made fun of by the lead or something. Also, being the lead would be fine too. But
what type of genre would you want to be lead in? Like, would you want to be a lead in sci-fi or drama or action or comedic? what type of role would you want as a lead role? Which movie would you think you would really shine in as an actor?
Movie I shine in. See, something like maybe like a Weekend at Bernie's or like dark humor stuff,
I like
Yeah,
that.
or maybe like
yeah, dark humor.
There's Something About Mary,
Yeah,
something like that. Like where
and you know what? Movies like that stand out too among the rest. Dark humor.
like one of
Man.
my favorite movies is American Beauty.
American Beauty. That's like
Yeah.
top 3 best movies of all time. Yeah. Was that movie a comedy? I thought it was more of a drama.
It's a dark humor drama. Like
Yeah. Yeah, it is some comedy in there. Yeah.
there's a lot more funny moments in it compared to other dramas.
I'm gonna tell you what I realized was a dark humor, even though some people might not view it as that. Remember the movie with Christian Bale called American Psycho?
Oh yeah, that's good. That'd be a nice role. I'd do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He pulls it off well because I generally think he has that little psychotic edge to him. So he
Yeah.
rolls really well.
Yeah, well, we could tell. We just talked about him going off on that dude, remember? So we know somewhere inside of him is that psychotic entity, you know? Are you one of those actors to where I notice a lot of actors say they got to get into the zone when they do their acting? And then you got a lot of actors like for instance, the guy that played Joker this year, Joaquin Phoenix. They said Joaquin Phoenix played the Joker outside of the cameras. So are you one of those actors that have to get ready and start turning into that character?
So that'd be method acting, and that's when I don't like. I like it and I don't like. I personally don't want to be a method actor.
I agree.
Because
They can
everyone
Yeah.
around you is miserable.
Yeah, that could ruin some relationships, like your spouse, or with your family, or with your friends.
I do see the benefit of it. Like if it helps you that 1% or 10% in your acting, I would say do it if it really helps you. But I think if you have a lot of skill, like you could just turn it on and off. But
Yeah,
I'm not gonna knock somebody for doing method acting.
I could only see it. I could only see it if you trying to get that Academy Award or something, you know?
Right, like Heath Ledger. He
Yeah,
deserved that.
yeah, because Heath Ledger did it too. He's. It was hard for him to get out of that Joker role, which is kind of scary, because that's when some mental stuff started kicking in, you know?
Right. Like so, but like in between would be good. Like some actors who like to like study a character, like some actors will like go work a job for like 6 months related to the role that they're gonna play. I
Wow.
respect that.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's a good in between like the method acting and like just becoming more familiar to your character.
So basically, what you're saying is, once you do the acting of the bad guy, then you go back to being Phillip. You're not Phillip outside of the camera.
Right, like because I don't want to be an asshole, even if I'm one. Well, maybe I am one, but I don't want to be that to everybody.
Yeah.
No, you actually come across as very polite and very nice. Always have, Phil. Always, Phil.
Appreciate it.
Can you tell us a little bit? I just want to go back to one thing you mentioned before, because so you've worked on on Seth MacFarlane Productions 2 times. Can you tell us about what like Ted was about? You want to tell us about that experience?
Yeah, I worked on Ted 2, the sequel, and the scene I worked on. Well, I worked multiple days on that show, that movie. About 5 or 6 days I worked on that across multiple like 2 weeks period, and that was the Comic-Con New York scene that where they're chasing after Ted, throughout the Comic-Con, and that's pretty cool because a lot of times they use a CG Ted. So instead of actually having Ted there, they would have like the silver ball thing. I forgot the technical name for it, but they'd use this ball in place of Ted on set, and that would be your eye line. Like, all right, follow, look at this ball, because treat it like if it was Ted. And
Was it a moving ball? Was it a BB-8?
no,
Something like that.
it was like on a stick or something.
Well, that's crazy that you said that because I always wondered, did they add self audio after or during? Like, did
A lot
you
of
hear
it's-
him talking?
A lot of it's after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they add the audio.
See, that to me, that takes a lot of skill from the actors who are actually there. You know?
But having Seth MacFarlane on set as a director, he'll shout out the lines.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little better because he'll even talk in Ted's voice. Like he'll shout like Ted's lines, and then the actors will react to that. But in post, like they'll put like the refined studio lines.
I bet that was hard for Mark Wahlberg too, for like him to be shouting that stuff as a director, because you can't help but to laugh at some of that stuff he was saying. Because I mean, Ted was off the hook with his language.
Now, were you filming in scenes with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get to like talk to him, but yeah, I was background scenes close to him where he was like running down hallways, and he was like pinned under something in the scene. I don't know if you've seen Ted 2.
Okay, now I'm seeing the little Mark Wahlberg thing that people are talking about with you. There's a little, I guess it's an Irish thing.
Maybe that's why Seth MacFarlane like stared at me awkwardly, like especially on Ted 2. He like looked at me. And some trivia that most people know: Seth MacFarlane was sick during filming of that. He even had to cancel one of the shoot days.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, maybe he had a flu or something. He did look a little under the weather on Ted 2. So yeah, there's that. And and they had a huge Enterprise D on set that they had fall down and hit that thing that fell on Mark Wahlberg, and that was really cool. Like I think it might have been bigger or as big as the one they actually used on the Next Generation, like the actual ship.
Wow.
And
that was a funny
Michael
movie.
Dorn was there too.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. And other like related to Star Trek, I did meet and had a conversation with Patrick Stewart.
Oh, no, that's
you have
That's
pictures
every
with
trick you
Patrick
drink.
Stewart. Can
Yeah,
you show us some pictures with Patrick? Because you were
So-
working. What was the thing you worked on with Patrick?
I worked on
Beta, we only bring the best background actors in Hollywood to Orville Nation.
well, you know what, man? He done did every Star Trek Trekkie's dream, meeting Picard.
like that was like it for me. Like I was prepared to get fired to talk to him. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be fired today, today's the day. I'm gonna talk to Patrick Stewart.
And I don't know. I could just it'll hurt me if it wasn't true, but it seemed like he's a nice, gentle guy. Was he?
He is. Like here, I'll show you
Oh,
right now.
okay, good.
That's me and Patrick Stewart. And he's showing
Yeah,
me
it's
pictures
you.
on his phone.
The real Picard.
That's an awesome picture, Phillip.
That really is.
So
You
What's
should
the
frame
role?
that.
This is a
Yeah.
Blunt Talk, a show that he worked on for like a couple seasons. And I was a prison mate with him. I was a background prison mate. And
Man, you should frame that, man.
so
How cool is
yeah,
that?
like I didn't want to disturb him like as we were filming or in between takes because like some actors want to concentrate on their lines, but as soon as we wrapped, I went up to him like, "Hey, I'm a Trekkie, like I grew up watching you," and like, oh, he seemed delighted, which a lot of actors don't want to be bothered, but he was delighted that I was a Star Trek fan. He said, "Oh, you like Star Trek," and he went over and picked up his phone and like. He said, "Oh, I want to show you something," and he picked up his phone and showed me Star Trek: The Next Generation scripts he had for sale. And I was telling him, "Oh, I look up to you," and like before like I could say, oh, can I buy some or where do I see this at? Like the crew people like took them away, so I didn't have time to really talk to them after that.
Yeah, celebrities, and I don't know. It seems like they move fast when they interact with fans. Like it's almost like a cheat code of saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be nice, but I'm not gonna stick with you long." And that's how they do with everybody, you know. Like, hey, thanks for meeting me. Hey, see you later. Bye. You know.
And just so everybody knows, if you ever do background acting on a set, don't go up to the actors and talk to them unless like they indicate they want to talk to you, or if you feel the vibe and like you feel that it's cool. But
Yeah.
generally, don't harass them when they're trying to. A lot of times they're trying to memorize their lines. They don't want to be bothered.
And plus, so many people probably don't try it anyway. You know, just out of nowhere, just really geeked out and say, "Hey, you know, can you sign this for me?"
Oh,
Just
yeah.
imagine how many times they get that for years.
Yeah, it's not professional do it on set usually, but I'd say, yeah, if we're wrapped and like, yeah, don't go for the autograph. I would say not on a set at least. But if you're at Comic-Con, go for it.
Yeah.
Ask for the autograph.
Well, are Fatal and I going to be able to get your autograph someday, Philip?
Depends how much I charge. No, yeah, definitely.
Philip actually gave us a really cool shout out, which I'm working into to something. We're going to promote this video with that shout out.
Okay.
Where were you when you did the shout out exactly? You were at Disney.
I was at the Disney Golden Oak Ranch, where they did film a lot of Star Trek over there. They filmed scenes of The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine there. The opening shots of Deep Space Nine, where Cisco is in with his son. They're at a lake on a bridge. If you remember that, episode 1 of next.
That was the first. That was the first episode.
I think it was a hologram scene.
Yeah.
So they filmed that bridge. That it is at the Golden Oak Ranch, the Disney Ranch.
Wow.
And they film a lot of shows there. They multi-use that.
It looks very familiar.
NCIS and several shows they film over there.
Phil, what is your favorite Star Trek series?
Next Generation, no question.
What's your favorite Star Trek movie?
Wrath of Khan.
Okay, good picks. Good picks.
Well, what about yours?
I don't know. Sometimes I say Deep Space Nine, and then sometimes I go back to Next Generation. So this is about a tie for me. My favorite movie is First Contact, and then Wrath of Khan.
First Contact would be my favorite Next Generation film.
Yeah.
And what about you, PJ?
Yeah, well, those are easy picks. I would say Next Generation is my favorite, and Wrath of Khan and First Contact. But I would say too that I know this isn't a popular choice, but I'm somebody who really appreciates Star Trek Enterprise, because I think that Gene Roddenberry wasn't just giving us an escape. I think he was also giving us kind of a blueprint for the future. And I think that in Enterprise, they're starting to bridge the future and the present together a little bit. And that's one of the things I liked about Enterprise.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like that too. And Enterprise was one of those things we talked about where the first season was like, yeah, and then it started getting better as time went by. It's almost like that's a Star Trek tradition or something.
Maybe one of these days I'll give it a shot. I have not watched it except for like I lost interest. I watched like the first 3 episodes and then I'm not feeling it. But
yeah,
you said it gets better. Maybe I'll give it a shot again.
And it was also hard because even though it was getting better, they also had a deal. Like their story was kind of dealing with the whole country going through 9/11, and it was kind of a weird situation production wise for them.
Yeah, I remember. I think Enterprise is just beginning, and they're announcing the new episode as I was actually in Las Vegas at the Star Trek experience.
Oh, really?
And that was really cool. I got to be on a a next generation set of like of the bridge. That's what they had at the Star Trek Experience, and I was just in awe. Like, yeah, I'm on like the set of Enterprise D. I'm at the bridge of the Enterprise D. So that was really
What
cool.
do you
And,
think, Philip? What do you think of Scott Bakula as an actor?
he's a good actor. Like, I just didn't watch him much in Enterprise. Like, I also didn't watch Quantum Leap.
You didn't watch Quantum Leap? Okay.
No, but he's good.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you
he
watch
was.
Quantum Leap, Jay?
Yeah, he was a heck of an actor in Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap was always one of them shows too that was close to my bedtime, but I always stayed up to watch that one. That was a good one. I love Quantum Leap, and he never did make it back home, did he? On Quantum Leap,
I don't think so. I don't
he
think
didn't
he
make
did.
it back home. They
Did
should
he?
finish that
I don't
up.
think so.
I don't think he did. But yeah, he was a good actor because you know what? In Quantum Leap, he had to play other people all the time because he was other people in the show.
That's a good point. He was playing somebody playing somebody.
Yep.
So, Philip, what's kind of what's your roadmap for the future right now? Like, what are you looking for to do right now?
Well, right now I'm kind of at a crossroads. I am eligible to join the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, which you basically have to join in order to get speaking roles in Hollywood. And it's kind of a process just to get to the level where I am at to become eligible to join SAG. So I'm there. As soon as I join, I'll get an agent, go to auditions, and go to the next level, hopefully. And
Now, is that? Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just going to add on. I always heard two actors getting in type of guilds and unions. It seemed like that's how they get the big stuff quickly.
right? Well, it's kind of a requirement.
Oh, okay.
So you have to join SAG-AFTRA if you want roles in these Hollywood films and TV shows. And there's a couple of different ways to get into it. Like if you have a really good look and like you get an agent and you nail on audition, they could just Taft Hartley you. Basically, like, all right, we're gonna make you join the SAG-AFTRA.
So that's top
very
tier.
rare.
So like, and I mean to cut you off, sorry, but with top tier actors like George Clooney and all them dudes, are they still in guilds?
Yeah, you have to be in SAG-AFTRA to be there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
Now,
some
when you
actors who joined the guild, like SAG-AFTRA, like John Voight, but then they also want to act outside of Hollywood. Like if you want to do like a non-paying gig or something outside of Hollywood, they frown upon that because you're not working within the union. So in order to get out of that, like John Voight did, he became I'm trying to think of the word right now. Oh God. But basically, you denounce SAG-AFTRA, you still pay your dues, but then you're able to work outside of the union. But most actors work within the union.
okay, cool.
Is it a big financial commitment to be in the union?
Yeah, especially if you're just doing background acting, it's a lot of money. It's $3,000 to join, the initiation fee, and then you have to pay like $250 every year.
Ooh.
Jeez, Louise. So I hope you. Is that guaranteed roles though?
No, it's just the opportunity to get it.
It just like makes you legal to work.
But I mean, is there any form of benefit, like you like rub elbows with certain producers or directors or something?
There are benefits. Well, so yeah, you have to be in SAG, and then if you work enough, there's health benefits. I heard there's certain clubs you can get in Hollywood if you show your SAG card, your union card.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an elite thing. And you get sent DVD screeners. Like when the award season comes around, they'll send you like DVDs of like shows for you to review and watch.
Oh, okay, cool.
You have voting rights. The awards. Which one is it? there's an award ceremony that's voted on by the SAG actors and the SAG community. So you have voting rights for that. So you get the screener DVDs. You get a vote on which one you think is better. So those are some of the benefits of
Well,
it.
you sound you 1,000% sure. I mean, you've been in all these roles, so to me, that sounds like a good investment. Anyway, to be in that union, so I'm pretty
Right.
sure it'll work out for you.
Like, I do plan on eventually joining for sure.
Yeah.
But some of the things you can't do once you join is like this. Like, if I was part of the union right now, I technically would not be able to be live chatting with you guys without my agent or SAG getting involved.
Oh
So,
man.
there's some drawbacks, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah.
like
The
you
benefits
need.
outweigh the drawbacks. Go ahead.
No, like you would need what? You would need permission, some kind of permission.
Like paperwork, because you're not supposed to act outside of or do interviews. I think even outside of union rules. So you're very limited on what you could do. Like if you want to appear on a commercial somewhere, like you have to go through SAG. It has to be a SAG production.
Just to say, I want to say just one thing about that is that from my experience with some actors, there's a lot of gray area in there. And some actors kind of just blow it off from my experience. What do you think?
Many people do. Like I know actors who are in SAG that just ignore it and they'll do non-union just stuff that I do. Like they'll do background stuff that's non-union or do their own YouTube shows. A lot of times they're not supposed to, but like SAG, they don't like follow you everywhere. So they don't keep track of everything you're doing. But if you're working on a SAG show, like let's say I was doing the Orville and I was working it as a non-union actor, but I am part of SAG, and SAG finds out about that, I could be in deep poop if they
You
find
mean
out.
like you get kicked out of the guild or something?
Yeah, I think so. Like that, or
Kind of like Mando.
fines.
He was kicked out, right?
Hmm?
Kind of like Mando, he was kicked out of the guild. I'm just kidding.
Right, yeah.
But what if you got like, I mean, what if there's all these kind of like webisodes and the streaming services. What if you got like some kind of web series offer right now? What would you do? Would you pursue something outside of Hollywood?
Definitely. There's also like web series that are part of Hollywood as well, so I wasn't sure where.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant like independent. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I have my own YouTube channel as well. Like not regularly, but I produce my own content. I have like it's gaming related. I call it Phillip Gaming. I just released
That's
my
right.
latest episode, not episode, but like my latest video like 2 weeks ago on Atari video games.
And I'm going to share that, Philip. I forgot about that. Sorry. Yeah.
So I'm not like just an actor. Like I also am into filmmaking. So definitely, I would love to collaborate on a web series or be an actor on a web series. I like independent content because you have more input on it.
Yeah,
than
you
if
do.
You're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Philip, is your channel the one in the last video you did, Forza Horizon 4? Is that you?
No.
No,
Horizon
that's not
4,
you.
no.
Yeah, I don't think it's you. Philip. Oh, okay. Oh, there's okay.
So
I see.
I do have a background in film. I have a degree in telemedia and film cinematography. So that's one of the things I want to do. Like my main goal, I mean, my main passion is in acting, but also in creating content, and I want to write and direct someday. And I have done directing on independent films.
You have any scripts wrote out?
Some short films. I have a couple. I have like one sci-fi short script that I've written.
How long did it take you to write the script?
few weeks. 'Cause you
Yeah.
have to like tweak it and like get lines right and like change like screen directions on it.
Yeah,
Few
then
weeks.
sometimes you just plainly change your mind about certain stuff.
And that was just for like a 10-minute script for like a few
Yeah.
weeks.
Okay, I finally found it. All right, I'm going to show that. Alrighty.
So what got you guys into making YouTube videos? Are you, LJ or PJ? Like, do you want to do filmmaking? Do you want to make your own like serialized content or episodic scripted things?
Phillip. Fatal.
I just like creating. I like a lot of people say editing videos is a pain. I actually get a sick pleasure out of editing and just making stuff look like the way it looks like in my head. And that's what I really got into it for, is just creating. I love speaking about stuff I watch or reviewing stuff. And I don't know. I just like the creative aspect behind YouTube. Kind of like that same feeling when you said you want to get into directing and writing and all that fun stuff. I just like creating. That's what really draw me to YouTube, because I was watching some channels and then something just popped in my head like, hey, you could do that and you could put your own elements to it. So that's what drew me in.
Right. Back in the day, like it was closed off. Like if you wanted to be on somebody's TV or make a video, like you had to go through Hollywood in most cases to get your stuff out there. Now, because of YouTube, like you can get known by millions of people just through making your own content on YouTube. And
that's the thing, Phillip. That's what I was kind of about to ask you too. Do you ever thought about doing your own channel and focusing on short films starring you? Because a lot of actors and a lot of musicians have really blown up off YouTube because they took that route. They got rid of the middleman and it was just them and the audience. Nobody in between. Have you ever thought about doing short films for YouTube, or do you already have them?
I have a couple short films on YouTube.
Okay.
It's a little hard because YouTube's not really designed for scripted and like really well produced content, because it takes a big budget for that. Like you have to like set aside time for those different shots. You have to take time to write. By the time you get like one episode out there, that's like a month, and like YouTube's not designed around that. They want you to produce content like every day.
Yeah, it does.
So if you take time to make a whole episode, like it'll be a month later that it comes out, and then if it gets no views, like.
But this is the thing, though. You got some channels, they drop that one video or one short film, and it just blows up. It just blows up. You got some channels that's like that.
And
I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to put a bug in your ear, so maybe on down the line, you might try that out. You know, I would be interested to see one of your short films on YouTube.
Also, one of the problems of making content on YouTube is for creatives is once you put it on YouTube, YouTube now has rights to your video.
That's true.
A lot of people don't know that. So once you put your video on YouTube, YouTube could decide like, all right, we're gonna use this and for this project, and we're gonna put this clip on this, and then you see your video somewhere else, and you're not making any money off of it.
That's true, because I saw it was a horror film that came out this year. And they took all the big YouTubers' reactions and put it on that commercial.
Yeah.
You remember that, PJ?
And
Yeah.
They have the right to do it.
Yeah, and they didn't have to pay those guys for that.
Yeah. So what a lot of creatives do is they put up their content on Vimeo. And with that website, you could have all the rights to it. You could actually also charge people to watch it if you wanted to. And then, but it's a really small site compared to YouTube, and they
no. YouTube is really killing it. It's some little other sites like you said, like Vimeo and BitChute and all them, but they not on the level of YouTube, not right now. Because I'm pretty sure it's some kind of guy in his basement working on a new streaming that's gonna blow up, but not just yet, because YouTube's still the king.
So yeah, I agree, but I feel like if I were to do a web series, I might not put it on YouTube because I want to have rights to it and I want to be able to
Yeah.
make money off of it. So,
But
I might
I
not
You
do
can
it.
still
always- go for
Go
it.
ahead.
I still feel like it's a lot of people do it just for promotion too, you know. So maybe you should just write something for promotion, just to get your name further out there.
Just put the teaser on YouTube.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
yeah.
And what about Philip? What about reviewing other people's work? Is that something you don't want to do? For example, like reviewing other actors or movies or series?
I've done some reviews. Like what my content normally is on my YouTube channel is gaming reviews. So it's like retro gaming reviews. So I've reviewed like Super Mario Bros. For Nintendo
Cool.
and all sorts of games. And I've even like 10 years ago I reviewed Star Trek 2009. How disappointed I was in that movie.
Oh wow.
No clue that we would now have Discovery, which is even worse.
Yeah. I agree.
So yeah, if you want to look me up, like 10 years ago, I did a review. Actually, over 10 years ago now.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat, by the way.
I reviewed Star Trek 2009. I haven't done many film and TV reviews in a while though. But I would like to do that probably on the side. But yeah, like what you're mentioning, like I like to write my own scripts and do my own content more than reviews.
Let me just add one thing you guys brought up real quick. There's because we work with a lot of I have contact with like all different kinds of sorts of people because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of IT people, a lot of internet technology people are keep telling me the next YouTube or something like it is out there, and it's probably going to be a decentralized platform, and the authors are going to have a lot more rights, and so I don't know. Who knows what's coming down the road. I just wanted to throw that out there.
But think about it. Before Facebook, it was MySpace, and before MySpace, it was Yahoo. I mean, it's always that. I hate to put in this term, but that nerd in his basement creating something better. Because the internet is a billion person thing. It's billions of people on the internet, billions of people from other countries. Everybody is not just waiting for YouTube to get better. It's somebody actually making a better YouTube. So I believe it. I believe it's coming. I believe it's something.
Come. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
I
it's
talked
something.
to several people. They're upset with YouTube, like all these creators. But that's the big site right now is YouTube still.
I believe it's something that's going to topple Facebook, all that stuff.
And if I can just go back to another point you guys brought up, or didn't bring up, Fatal. Isn't there another big aspect to your creativity you want to share, or do you not want to share that?
Hold on, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Tell me.
Oh, okay. Now, don't you have? Isn't there a comic book side to your creativity?
Oh, yeah. That's the reason why I asked Phil about scripts, because I'm still erasing stuff and adding more stuff, and so yeah, I'm trying to come out with a comic book. That's one of my big passions. Like I said, I got into YouTube because I love creating new videos, creating a universe, creating creatures. I just like creating. Ever since I was a little kid, playing outside and in my own little world, I just love that creative aspect.
Right.
So I always like to pick people's brain. That's why I was asking him about how long it took him to write his script.
Like it could take you shorter than like 2 weeks, but like I was working, like life gets involved.
Yeah, true.
In the way.
True.
So I would say just you could just start. There's I think there's a free program out there. I heard it's not free anymore, where you could write your own scripts. Celtics, and that's
Celtics.
it's a program to type your own scripts out.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
There's a couple other programs, but that's one of the most
And
popular ones.
ever since PJ, you talking about the comic books, YouTube has connected me to a lot of people that does that on the regular. And that's another reason why I got into YouTube too, was the networking aspect. You can network with a lot of people. I would have never met PJ outside of YouTube. I met the most awesomest man on the planet Earth.
Likewise, yeah, I wouldn't have met either of you guys. It's really interesting because our three spheres professionally are probably very different. And we wouldn't have.
And the thing about YouTube, if you can take advantage of YouTube and the internet. You can take big advantage of it. Or you could just be that guy that's just watching what's going on. I want to be in it a little bit,
Right. Most of the time I'm just watching some of these videos, but I'll put my own videos out there occasionally.
Well, sometimes I even do stuff like this. Like I'll go on to the YouTube search and I will look at people that's coming out with different content as me. And then I'll connect with those people like, hey, I really enjoyed your video. I do the same thing. Hey, let's do something together. So maybe Phil, you could do something like that, or maybe you don't. That's what I like to do.
This is my first live stream. I've never done a live stream.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool, man.
Well, then we are the first to interview the great Phillip O'Reilly. So when you guys are watching us 10 years from now, we were the first. Fatal
I'm sorry, man. But when you blow up, I want them autographs. I'm just gonna keep it real with you.
I'll put you ahead of the line.
We want to go to the premieres, Phil. We want to go to the premieres with you. We want to sit next to you.
Phil gonna be like, nah, man, I don't even know those guys.
So, Philip.
Yeah. What's up? Go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to go back because you've done so much, and I don't even think we have an accurate representation. Like when you were, for example, when you were doing on the Veep, when you were working on the Veep, were you involved in a scene with Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Yeah. I worked on a show like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
I did get to see her. I didn't talk to her, but I was involved in various episodes of that. And, the episode where I was featured in like pretty well in like 2 episodes as different characters. That's one of the weird things about one of the things I do. Like one episode I'll be one character, the next episode I'll be a different character. They don't usually want that though, because people that are like fanatics with like series, they'll notice it. Like, hey, like I thought this guy was this, and like kind of breaks like continuity and stuff. But I was a news reporter in that last episode I worked on Veep, and she is producer, so she's on set a lot. So I did get to see her. Yeah.
What was it like working with her on the Veep?
She's been in Hollywood forever, so she knows what she wants. Like she wants like this scene to look a certain way. I wouldn't say mean, but like she has a focus.
Is she bossy? Just go ahead and say it, man.
Yeah, she's
I don't
strict.
want to get blacklisted.
Okay, well I said for Phil. She's bossy.
All right.
No, it's a work environment. It's understandable that she would be.
Right.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, because when you know what you want it exactly like that. So I can understand too.
I respect
now,
that,
if you
too.
rule with it, it's different. If you rule with it, it's different.
Right. If you're just focused and you're direct, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I like directing my own short films. Like I directed one 2018 for the 48-hour film project. Like I want a certain thing. Like I can understand how like not every set is going to be jovial and everybody goofing off. Like I don't like that. But like if everything's going well, it's fine to have a friendly atmosphere. But I'd rather something be professional, get things done. So I don't mind if a director is a little, I guess you would say, bossy or mean,
Yeah.
but reasonably. Like I don't like a-hole directors or ads. Usually,
I agree.
usually it's not the director who's telling the actor or especially the background actor what to do. It's usually the people below the director, like the assistant director or second AD, will be the ones that are telling the actors what to do, because the director has to tell the AD and director of photography and so many other people what to do. Like they can't direct every single person, so they have people below them that direct the other people, like a hierarchy.
Hey, how hard would it be to be a boom operator in Hollywood?
Oh, uh, the two positions I hate the most is boom operator and editor.
Was you a boom operator?
I've done it for films, like short films.
And you have to work out to do that.
Well, I'm okay.
How long you got to keep that up though? You know,
It's one of the least
desirable.
desirable things. It's like if it's a long take, you just have to be there for you could be there like 10 minutes, just arms up, losing circulation.
I heard they make good money though.
You can, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Also, if you're you have to hold a camera, like Steadicam operator, and like you have to like put your camera on the shoulder, or like that takes a toll on you too. That's why a lot of those people will get paid more, because it takes a toll on your body if you do it for a long time.
Yeah.
And each of those different crew positions, they have their own separate unions that you have to pay into as well, and a lot of those cost a lot more to join. Like I was telling you, it's like after you have to pay $3,000.
Yeah.
Some of those I think you have to pay like a lot more, like 10 grand or 20 grand to join.
Jeez.
I think the directors union, DGA, I think that's like 10 grand or 20 grand.
Now, what was the tell us, you've done, how many years ago would you say you started acting, Philip? Because you were telling me this once. You were explaining to me that you haven't been doing it that long, but you've gotten an insane amount of roles in a very short period of time, right?
Well, I kind of grew up wanting to be an actor, so the process has kind of been long, but as a background actor, I've been doing it for like a little over 5 years now. Well,
Damn.
2013 is when I got my first background acting role on Anchorman 2. As a spectator at the SeaWorld scene, the people were heckling Ron Burgundy's and like boo, and that was really fun. So that was 2013. It's like 7 years ago now. That I've been doing background
Philip,
acting.
I mean, dude, I like when I start because I start to look at everything you've done. You've done a lot in those like 5-6 years that you've done a lot, really.
Right, and
because I know other people who've been doing it that long and they've done like 2 things.
So like I was just determined, like, all right, I'm gonna call and I'm gonna get this role, or you don't call them roles if they're background, but I'm gonna get this gig. So I'd be like hustling it, like, all right, I'm gonna try to get it, and I would be calling like to get that job for like I would call like 300 times, like to try to get through, because it's really competitive in the background acting environment, because they have a large database of background actors. At least with the largest one that I'm with, Central Casting. I'm with several different background casting companies, but the largest one is Central Casting, and they have thousands of people that are trying to get that same role that you're trying to get. So there's so many people calling in for that, and you just have to redial. The line's busy. Redial. Now they have more of an email system in place, but I'm sure they get hundreds of emails like, hey, like you submit your picture, and like they have to choose who they want for that gig for that day, and it's really competitive, and it's a numbers game. Like I'll submit to maybe like 20 things in one day, and all right, they reply to me in like 1 or 2 things, and then I work the next day. and that's how, like, every week I could work like up to like 5 different TV shows in 1 week. So that's how that builds up to working on 100 different TV shows.
Wow. So there's a lot of uncertainty there, and there's like you can all of a sudden get a whole bunch of stuff, and you can all of a sudden become really busy.
Right. I could work 5 days in 1 week, no days next week, or 1 day, 2 days next week. Like, that's one of the bad things about that industry is there's no job security unless you get a contract. If you're in SAG and you get a speaking part or you're cast, there's very low job security in Hollywood. Like, if you want to pay rent or mortgage, don't recommend entering this business. But if you're passionate about it and you're determined and hopefully have some money saved up, try if you have a passion for it.
Hey, that's what it's all about, though, man. That's how life separates the real from the imitators. You know, you're back against the wall, and the money is low, but you still want to pursue it, and you're not giving up and giving in to failure. I truly believe at the end of the day, you will make it. You will make it. Thomas Edison, the light bulb that we have in our house now, it took him 1,000 tries, literally 1,000 tries before he got it right.
I think it was 10,000 Fatal J, to be honest.
It was 10,000?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Just think if he would have gave up after that 10th time, we would still have lamps, man. Oil lamps.
You're absolutely right, Fatal. You're absolutely right.
So if you enjoying it, Phil, I think you should just keep going, man, because eventually it's going to happen. You're going to get that big break, and then I'm going to say, oh, look, I know him at the movie theater. So I truly believe that, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Philip,
Now-
you want to tell us? Oh, go ahead, Fatal.
No, go ahead, my friend.
No, I'm just going to ask you. Do you want to tell us the titles of some of the films you? Can you just repeat the titles? You mentioned one briefly of the films you have produced or you have made.
Oh, that I have made. Okay,
Yeah.
the last one I made was called Murder Mementos.
Okay.
It's about a 7-minute short film I made for the 48-hour film festival, film project here, and yeah, they got screened in the movie theater, and I think that might be the first for me, like having a film I directed and produced and be in, like, shown in a movie theater.
That's
really
cool.
cool. I didn't write that. I actually collaborated with other filmmakers, and if you know, there's a big YouTuber. Have you heard of Mega 64? Well, they're more into
No.
like video game related pranks, and they have like thousands of subscribers.
Okay.
And he lives around my area too, and we collaborated, and he became the writer of my project, and that's pretty cool that I got him involved in my project. And check that out. That's not on YouTube though, so if you want to look up Murder Mementos, I have it on Vimeo. That way I have all the rights to it if I want to do something else with that project.
Maybe is it okay we maybe share a link to that later on Twitter?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the one issue with like that film festival, the 48-hour film festival, you have to make a whole project in 2 days, in 48 hours. So from writing it to filming it, editing, everything has to be done within that 48 hours. So a lot of times you might have a good amount of skill, but you're under time constraint and you don't have enough time to refine your project. So I feel I got most of what I wanted out of the project I made, but didn't have enough time to get proper editing done, the shots that I filmed into it properly. But I've done other films. I filmed a project in school when I was doing filmmaking, taking film classes, called Racial Identity, and that is on YouTube. And basically, I made that as a message. I'm actually half white, half Mexican, and I basically confronted that issue in that film, that short film.
Do you speak Spanish, Philip?
Yep, not fluently, but I'd say 89% I can speak it.
Oh, I mean that's great. That opens up doors too, right?
Yeah,
For
I've
you,
I've worked on some projects like that Border Patrol one.
Oh,
That I
you were in a
worked.
telenovela, weren't you?
Yeah,
As
with
well.
Eva Longoria.
Yeah.
I was a stage manager. Oh, I was the background actor acting as a stage manager on that show, and it has been helpful. Like I've worked on some Mexican-made productions here in on this side of the border. I've not worked in Mexico though, but yeah, like the Border Patrol role that I got, I had to know Spanish for that, so that became useful. And do you speak Spanish, PJ or Fatal J, or any other
Uh,
languages?
I live in Texas, so I gotta have a little Spanish in me, you know. Yeah, I talk a little, not much, but where I'm from, it's a ton of the Hispanic culture here, so I have to learn something. I know a little bit.
Yeah, I speak Spanish. I speak Spanish, Philip. So
One day I'm gonna take what's that stuff? What's the thing that teach you another language? What's it called? It's real famous.
Rosetta
It was-
Stone.
yeah, I'm gonna have to do Rosetta Stone and get fluent in it.
Yeah, I wish I was a little better at it. I would say I would probably speak Spanish at about like a fourth or fifth grade level. That's one of the reasons I don't usually like to speak Spanish. Like I feel kind of unintelligent when I speak Spanish, but my English skills are pretty well, especially in writing. Like
Yeah,
I'm
because
really
every time I
I'm
speak
pretty
Spanish,
good in
people start
English.
laughing. The Hispanic people, they laugh at me when I start. So I know I'm getting something wrong, but I'm making sense though. But it's just hard sometimes to roll the tongue on certain things.
well, for you, Fatal, it's not your native language. So I mean, people are understandable as long as it's okay.
Yeah,
And Philip, for like a fourth grade level is more than enough. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have emigrated. Who've come from a Spanish speaking country, and their Spanish is at a similar level. That's all you need, really. Just be
and then I'm
as
gonna
long as
take
you can
you.
communicate.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy too. You have a lot of second and third generation Hispanic kids. I start speaking Spanish to them, and they tell me I don't speak Spanish. Like they frown upon it. They want to speak English. I always thought that was weird. It's really weird to me.
Like nationalistic, like they feel like, oh, we're in America, speak English.
Yeah, yeah,
That's because their families have been exposed to kind of like it was Spanish was it was prohibited to them. It was frowned upon in their wherever they were.
yeah. And then and a lot of those kids, their parents or their grandparents is really dependent on them to know English. So I can kind of see it, but I always find it kind of weird too at the same time.
Nerdy Blurb says he's always wondered how actors can work for so many TV shows by swiping characters so much. He says, how does one stay on top of that?
So you mean the actor's point of view, or what's the question?
I guess he was saying. Well, he was listening to what you were saying, I guess, and but I think you already answered that kind of.
I've always wondered how many actors can work for so many TV shows. Swiping characters.
Stay on top of it, like sort of like, I mean, if you were to like method act and get to do, it's, I don't see a problem with it. Like,
Yeah, I guess if you had I guess he's saying like maybe not your situation, but if you had a more involved speaking role, and then you went and did a whole different kind of role in a different TV show, I guess.
just
Not-
do it.
Yeah.
I would see how it'd be hard for the actors who are method acting. Basically, where you get into the character too much and you need time to get out of that character. I could see how it's a problem for them, but it's not a problem for most actors. I think they just there's a lot of them like read the script. Yeah, I'm sure it takes a little bit of time. Like, all right, what's this character like? Okay, got it. So I think it's a short adjustment period for actors, but it's not a problem. Like it's like a light switch, like turn it on and off. I think for most actors.
Now, Philip, did you have like contact with Tom Costantino when you were on the show? The showrunner?
I've run across so many crew, and I'm not familiar with him much,
Oh, okay.
so I don't
Let me
know.
correct myself,
Maybe I
'cause-
did, and I didn't know.
So Tom Costantino is now he's now the co-executive producer with Seth of the show. But I think in season one, I think he was in charge of editing, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why maybe, yeah,
I probably was not in contact with him then.
yeah, you
but
probably weren't in contact with him.
usually editors are not too involved, or sometimes they're on sets, but not always.
Now, do you there's one thing I did want to say about this, and it kind of slipped by me to say it earlier. From my understanding, the way the shooting is on the show on the Orville is different from a lot of other shows because Seth is bringing in his like the way they do things in animation, and so apparently, from my understanding, is when they start the season, the filming season, they basically have everything done, everything written, everything is finished. It's not like other shows that they start filming and the writers are still writing stuff for show number 3 when they're filming show number 1. And apparently with Seth, like everything is done and ready to go when they begin. Would you did you notice anything of that, Philip?
Yeah, there's two basic ways how films are aired on TV. So there's the method that he does mainly is where you film all the episodes for that season, then you air it, and then there's shows where they're like halfway done filming. They film like 4 episodes or 5 episodes. They start airing it, and then they continue filming until they're finished. So they're filming as they're airing the first couple episodes, and I feel it depends what situation they're in. If they're playing catch up, it's a lot hard because they're like a lot more stressed. If they have to finish filming before they're ready. Uh, so I would say like depends on this like production schedule and like what the network wants. Um, if they allow you to film everything then air it, like I think that's ideal, especially with a sci-fi show where you have to put on all that CG. It takes a lot of time. You can't really do that. I know they did for like the Next Generation, I think, because they are filming like for like almost the whole year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, when I worked on the Orville, we lost.
Go ahead. We lost Fatal. He may not. I
So-
don't know if he's coming back or not. But go
So
ahead. Phil.
when I did the Orville, it was before it started airing. So I attended Comic-Con 2017. I went to their panel. Didn't know anything about the show except Seth MacFarlane's involved, and some people that worked on Star Trek previously were involved in the show. So I was excited for that. I knew it was a good idea, especially since I know Seth MacFarlane is a really good creative person and director. So I knew it was going to be something good. I saw him at Comic-Con 2017. This is where I got this T-shirt, and then I worked on set on episode 7. This is before it started airing, so I didn't know who the characters were. Like, oh, cool! Like, there's this cast here that I have to surround them, and I didn't know who they were. Well, I did see them at the panel at Comic-Con, but I didn't know their characters really. So it's a lot different if I were to go back and work on that show now. Now I know the characters, I know everything, so it's not as like blind going into it as I was when I did episode 7.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, and just to summarize, if anybody any producers out there are looking for the ideal person to play what did you say before, a villain in a comedy?
Yeah.
Philip is your man. How tall are you, Philip?
6'2".
Oh, 6'2". Yeah.
That's the main
That's
reason I
intimidating.
get more intimidating roles. Like usually I'll play either a cop or a criminal. Like both work for me.
Yeah, you've done a lot of that. That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, Trey. I'm looking at Trey here. Trey, if you guys need an evil villain for acts in our movies and comics, Philip is your man. Trey is in charge of well, you know Trey, right, Philip?
I think I've talked on the chat before.
For acts in our comics.
Yeah, we've on the chat, like text. Yeah.
I'm gonna go and we're gonna post some of those murder momentous and racial identity. I'm gonna see if maybe we can post them on Twitter later. And I want to also just I put a Fatal's channel up there. Fatal's not going to come back because he has to go, but we're going to wrap up things soon. So yeah, just guys, subscribe to Fatal J, and to Philip O'Reilly. I will post Philip's channel again, which is Philip Gaming on YouTube, and he reviews retro gaming. Is that correct? That's the right word to say, right, Philip?
Yeah. Okay.
So listen, Philip, it was an honor, and I think that I mean, I would think it'd be cool sometimes, maybe if when we're reviewing something down the road, if you want to put in your 2 cents on, we'd be honored to have you maybe on reviewing some material.
Definitely.
What did you think about? I'm just going to ask you. Did you see the new Star Wars movie?
Yes.
What was your take?
Not as bad as The Last Jedi. I had some cringeworthy moments for me there. Like, I say generally disliked it, but I had a lot of good moments. And I don't want to spoil it, so I don't know how detailed you want me to get.
Yeah, there's a lot. I would agree. There was
the very
mixed
end,
feelings.
like I didn't like that.
Oh, the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of mixed feelings about it. So, yeah. Oh, we won't spoil anything then. So, my friend Philip, thank you so much for joining us, and it was an honor to have you here. And obviously, Philip is often in many of our chats, and he has his Twitter. If you guys aren't following Philip on his Twitter and his YouTube, we're going to post that. Actually, I'm going to post it before we go. And
yeah, thank you for having me on. Yeah, first live stream. I've done a podcast before, but this is the first like video I've done, like live stream. But thank you. Yeah, mainly like I'm an Orville fan. That's why I started interacting. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna hopefully we're gonna be able to before you become unattainable. Hopefully, we'll be able to pick your brain about stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
All right. Well, so thanks to everybody in the chat. Don't forget to follow Philip on Twitter and on YouTube. And thanks to Alicia for being in there in the chat and help supporting and being there as a wrench. And thanks to Fatal for coming in as a co-host. And it was a true pleasure. And I'm sorry we had to put this off till 2020.
No worries.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you, Philip. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Live long, prosper.
Live long and prosper. Goodbye, everybody.